Oh, that's bad. Shit. I thought I could get the Triumph heal and get out of there. Ah, he's gonna have a slow push lane now. That's unfortunate. Can't kill me. Coming for you. Gonna remount. Easy. Dead. Killed you. Who's next? Gonna shoot. This is the best part to it, chat. Listen to this part of the song. Going back. Needs melt. Can't lane. Gonna die. Actually, let's kill him. Gonna kill him. He's gonna die. Gonna take my fucking pink. And I'll take his. It's only fair. Ah, shit. I missed my fucking Q, which I needed so that I could get the remount. God, see, this is why I'm saying they need to nerf the fuck out of tank items. Like, it doesn't matter if you nerf Scion. The problem, in my opinion, isn't Scion. The problem is you have these hyper over-efficient tank items that come out early game that just, like, destroy the very concept of trading. Look at this. Like, how am I supposed to trade? He's now got 100 armor, 20% cooldown, mana, so he can spam his abilities, and an attack speed slow. Like, it's too much. It's too much. But then the balance, of course, is that eventually you get anti-tank items that penetrate it. But in the short term, it means that the people that actually have to lane against tanks can't. Yeah, this is me trading with a tank. Black Cleaver needs to go back to 30% penetration. That's just obvious. Well, part of the problem too is, as people are saying, Sion does so much base damage that he's still a damage threat while building full tank. And that wouldn't be a problem if tank items weren't trashing everyone while building them. I think a good example to take here is Dota. In Dota, there's no real hardcore tank items, you know what I mean? You can't just build full tank if your champion scales only on... Like you can't play Centaur War Runner full tank. I think that's the way to go about it, personally. I think there should basically not exist the concept of full tank items. If Black Cleaver goes back to 30%, every 80 carry will rush it. Good, then nerf them. Then just nerf Black Cleaver on ranged champions. I don't understand this shit, where like ranged champions who proc it much easier need to get the same power from it as melee champions who don't proc it easy. That doesn't make any sense. Then just make 2 items. Make Black Cleaver and Big Black Cleaver. And Big Black Cleaver is just for melee champions. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I think Black Cleaver and Blade of the Ruined King both need melee versions or melee buffs because they are not good. I think it's kind of obvious with most Riven players swapping over to an Essence Reaver build, and in fact, most melee champions swapping over to an Essence Reaver based build. I think it's kind of very obvious that Black Cleaver and Blade of the Ruined King is not working. I think Black Cleaver needs to have a melee buff. I think Blade of the Ruined King needs to have a melee buff. I think Blade of the Ruined King should have a buff wherein, like, I mean, I don't know. That's part of the problem, is I don't know, because what are you supposed to build? Like, let's say I'm playing Collide right now. What am I supposed to build to hurt a champion like Sion? I've already got Conqueror, I've already got Black Cleaver, and I still don't hurt him. You know, like, what am I supposed to do? Having to build 2 or 3 anti-tank items just to be able to do damage to tanks would be pretty shitty design, if you ask me. So I would have to build Lord Dominic's Regards, Black Cleaver, and Blade of the Ruined King, at which point I've taken my entire build into being anti-tank, can still barely hurt tanks, but have now reduced my damage against squishy targets substantially. That doesn't sound like a very good A, design choice, and B, gameplay choice. If I was to revert the game to a previous season, I'd probably go back to season 3 and start over. How come it's supposed to be a teamwork game only ever applies to Bruisers? Can anyone actually give me like a realistic answer to that question? When it's mages complaining that they can't hurt tanks, they get a 40% penetration void staff. When it's AD carries complaining they can't hurt tanks, they get the new Infinity Edge and Last Whisper. But suddenly when it's Bruisers complaining they can't hurt tanks, it's, oh, you're not supposed to, it's a team-based game. In my opinion, the idea of certain roles being able to not kill other roles makes sense, but only when that role is so powerful on its own, or so powerful at doing its job, that it needs another role to counter it. For example, assassins are really, really, really good right now at killing AD carries. So maybe assassins shouldn't be able to beat bruisers and tanks, right? What were bruisers so good at doing that they needed to be absolute dog shit at killing tanks? Well, like, what were they so amazing at that tanks just, like, for balance reasons had to be unkillable to them? VR can easily kill any tank. Didn't they literally add an anti-tank item in the game that makes tanks, like, beat Fiora into late game? And in fact, wasn't that one of the big issues that finally made Riot had to add Conqueror? Because Thornmail was actually beating the shit out of beating the shit out of bruisers so hard. I'm asking this hypothetically, but I know it's what happened. Bramblevest was literally allowing Garen, for example, to auto-attack Jax to death in melee range. Wait, they ran in there and died, huh? Yeah, I think people have like a seriously lopsided idea of like how bad the balance was when Conqueror was added. When Conqueror was added, Garen was literally standing in front of Jax and auto-attacking him to death. When Conqueror was added, Maokai was actually just straight out healing bruisers. Like when I was playing Kled, it was not unheard of for me to like actually just use my entire combo on Maokai and for him out heal it with one passive proc. That's not good. Oh, that's really not good. Well, that's not good either. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Let's say a bruiser combo did 2,000 damage. That sounds like a lot, right? 2,000 damage. But now let's imagine that it's mitigated by 75%. So actually, you're only dealing 500 damage. But then they heal for 400, and suddenly your entire combo has done 100 damage to a tank. And then you look at their health bar and you see 4,000 health. And you think to yourself, And that's why Conqueror was added. Because suddenly, you would go from dealing 500 damage to dealing 800 damage, which meant you could actually hurt a tank. Let's actually put this in a way for you guys to understand. They removed Fervor of Battle, removed the 7% armor pen from runes, buffed Grasp the Undying, buffed Grasp the Undying again, buffed Grasp the Undying a third time, and then they buffed Grasp the Undying a fourth time. And then when Bruisers were like, hey, we can't really hurt tanks, Riot was like, hey, shut up. We're adding Thornmail into the game. Yeah, that's actually something a lot of people don't realize. It wasn't just Fervor of Battle versus Conqueror. It was Fervor of Battle with 7% armor pen against Conqueror, but also Fervor of Battle didn't have to fight Thornmail, and also Fervor of Battle fought a much, much, much weaker Grasp the Undying, but also Fervor of Battle had a buffed Black Cleaver. I, honest to God, think Bramblevest and Thornmail should be straight removed from the game, and Riot should be like, shit, our bad, guys. We totally forgot that Bruisers existed when we added this item. We thought that it would be used against Ardent Sense or AD carries, but we're very stupid and never learn our lesson. So actually, it fucked over Bruisers again. Wouldn't that make Yi and Jax OP? What? Removing Thornmail makes... Dude, I don't think Master Yi, like, walks up to you, auto-attacks you, proccing his passive to get true damage, which procs Rageblade to get true damage, to auto-attack you again, which procs his passive to proc Rageblade, to proc his passive to proc Rageblade, does 9,000 true damage, and thinks to himself, darn it, but I took 300 magic damage from Thornmail. Gun down in the street! Like the degenerate he is. This is what pissed me off about San, though. I just dislike how over-efficient early... Like, compare Bami's Cinder to Tiamat, and you can see how fucked up it is. If I get a kill, I still have less gold than him, because Tiamat is that much more expensive. I see what's going on here. Anyone else like that when Zoe's overpowered, Riot goes, we'll stop and see if the item changes make her less overpowered. When other champions overpowered, Riot's like, nerf that motherfucker. Then gank their items. Gun down in the street. Like the degenerate he was. We see in its natural habitat, the get dove repeatedly, die repeatedly, but I'm ahead. And also because I'm a tank, my items are actually more efficient. So actually I'm winning. This is my combo with Conquer and Black Cleaver because he built one item. Oh my god. But clearly the problem here is Scion, especially Scion's early game. That's where the issue lies, Twitch chat. Scion's early game is just too good. Yeah. I feel like Riot too much is trying to nerf Scion's early game for, like, I don't know, like, are they trying to keep him as like a carry tank or something? I don't know. Now comes my favorite game show. Can Caitlyn literally do any damage to their tank? The answer is no! Because she doesn't have Infinity Edge yet. Which is somehow good gameplay or something.